Hi friends, good morning to one and all. Today we are going to discuss in Geography Unit 5 Biosphere. In a previous geography class we have discussed about the hydrosphere. Now we are going to discuss about the biosphere. What is that biosphere? Biosphere, it is a life supporting layer that exists on the earth's surface. Biosphere, it's a life supporting layer that exists on the earth's surface. Actually, it is the fourth sphere of the earth. Okay, so we are going to discuss about the biosphere. What we are going to learn to understand the scope and meaning of biosphere, to understand the meaning of ecosystem, its components, functions, and biodiversity, to understand the major biomes of the world, to know the need for the conservation of biomes. First, let me go to the introduction. Biosphere, the fourth sphere of the earth, is a life supporting layer that exists on the earth's surface. This layer on earth encompasses the lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere. For that purpose only, biosphere is the fourth sphere of the earth. So it includes flora and fauna. Flora, plants, and fauna is animals that thrive on or near the earth's surface. The vertical range of the biosphere is approximately 20 km, which is measured from the ocean floor to the troposphere. So, however, most plants and animals live in a very narrow section for about 1 km above and below the mean sea level. Biosphere is made up of different ecosystems and biomes. All living things, large or small, they are grouped into species, that is varieties, in a different species. So the area in which an animal, plant or microorganism which lives is called its habitat. What is habitat? The area in which an animal, plant or microorganisms lives is called its habitat. A wide variety of plants and animals live in a particular habitat known as biodiversity. What is biodiversity? A wide variety of plants and animals live in a particular habitat which is known as biodiversity. Look at this vertical range of biosphere on earth. The height of the tallest mountain, the area where most living things live, the average ocean floor depth. This is for your vertical range of biosphere on earth. Now look at what is an ecosystem. An ecosystem is a community where all living organisms live and interact with one another and also with their non-living environment such as land, soil, air, water, etc. So here ecosystem range in size from the smallest units, now that is example bark of a tree, that can sustain life to the global ecosystem or ecosphere. That's one of yours. Second give is an answer. So example cropland, pond ecosystem, forest ecosystem, desert ecosystem, etc. Biosphere harbors all ecosystems on the earth and sustains the life forms including the mankind. Look at the diagram. This is one of your activity. Narrate the forest ecosystem in your own words. After seeing this, you are giving your own words. Now look at do you know matter. The branch of science that deals about ecosystem is called ecology. What is ecology and ecologist? Difference between that. The branch of science that deals about the ecosystem is called ecology. A person who studies ecology is referred to as an ecologist. So this is the difference between the ecology and ecologist. The components of ecosystem. An ecosystem consists of three basic components. What are that? Namely, abiotic components, biotic components, and energy components. What are the three? Abiotic, biotic, and energy components. First, let me discuss about abiotic components. Abiotic components include the non-living, inorganic, physical, and chemical factors in the environment. Example, land, air, water, calcium, iron, etc. Now, biotic components. This include plants, animals, and microorganisms. Biotic components can be classified into three categories: producers, autotrophs, and the consumers. Now look at that. Producers are self-nourishing components of the ecosystem. Hence they are called autotrophs. What is that producer? They are the self-nourishing components of the ecosystem. Hence they are called as autotrophs. So they are found both on land and as well as in water. Example, plants, algae, bacteria, etc. Now consumers. They are those that depend on the producers directly or indirectly. So hence they are called heterotrophs. Consumers are those that depend on producers directly or indirectly. So hence they are called as heterotrophs. The common categories of consumers are primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers. So primary consumers depends on producers for their food. They are exclusively herbivores. Example, zebra, goat, etc. Secondary consumers, they are the small carnivores. That's a example. They consume herbivores. Example, lion, snake, etc. It's a secondary base. Tertiary consumers are the top carnivores that prey on both the herbivores and the carnivores. Example, owl, crocodile, etc. Now the fourth one is the decomposers. There are some organisms that are incapable of preparing its own food. They live on dead and decaying plants and animals. So hence they are called as saprotrophs. Example, fungus, mushrooms, etc. So here, energy components. All organisms in the biosphere use energy to work and convert one form of energy into another. The sun is the ultimate source of energy for the biosphere as a whole. The solar energy gets transformed into other forms of energy through the various components in the ecosystem. The producers, consumers, and the decomposers, which contribute a lot to the energy flow in an ecosystem. Now, functions of an ecosystem. Look at the food web. The functions, how it is functioning. So, this is a food web, a food chain we used to call. Okay. The living organisms form an interacting set of flora and fauna, which are organized into trophic levels. Trophic levels, the energy which flow generally takes place in a hierarchical order in an ecosystem through the various levels. That levels only we called as a trophic levels. Food chains and the food webs. The functioning of an ecosystem depends on the pattern of the energy flow, as it helps in the distribution and circulation of the organic and inorganic matter within an ecosystem. Energy flow generally takes place in a hierarchical order in an ecosystem through the various levels. These levels are called as trophic levels. The chain of transformation of energy from one group of organism to the another through various trophic levels is called as a food chain. A system of interlocking an interdependent food chain is called a food web. Now, biodiversity. What is biodiversity, or otherwise called as a biological diversity, which refers to a wide variety of living organisms. Example, plants, animals, and other microorganisms which live in a habitat. It is highly influenced by the topography, climate, as well as human activities. Topography, it's a land. Based on the land, climate, as well as human activities, the biological diversity, it will be vary. It represents the strength of the biological resources of a place on earth. In biodiversity, each species, no matter how big or small, has an important role to play in the ecosystem. So it maintains the ecological balance and facilitates the social benefits such as tourism, education, research, etc. over an area. Loss of biodiversity. The extinction of species, flora and fauna due to the human and natural influences is called the loss of biodiversity. What is loss of biodiversity? The extinction, the end of the species, that is flora and as well as the fauna due to the human and the natural influences is called loss of biodiversity. A healthy ecosystem provides clean water, pure water, enriched soil, food, raw materials, medicines, etc. Hence, stable biosphere has to be conserved. Now, biomes. A biome is a geographically extensive ecosystem where all flora and fauna are found collectively. It is a total assemblage of plant and animal life interacting within the biosphere. Biomes are defined by abiotic factors like relief, climate, soils, and vegetation. They are classified into two broad categories, terrestrial biomes and aquatic biomes. Look at the example. Do you know? An ecological region that has lost more than 70% of its original habitat is considered as a hotspot. Hotspots in India are the Himalayas, Western Ghats, Indo-Burma region and Sundaland. There are 34 areas around the world which are qualified as a biodiversity hotspots. So now we are going to discuss about the two broad categories, terrestrial biomes and aquatic biomes. The first one is the terrestrial biomes. Terrestrial biome is a group of living organisms that live and interact with one another on the land. They are mainly determined by temperature and rainfall. Some of the major terrestrial biomes of the world are tropical forest biomes, tropical savanna biomes, desert biomes, temperate grassland biomes, and the tundra biomes. So these are the different types terrestrial biomes. This is the classification of biomes, natural and the terrestrial one. Grassland, forest, desert. Natural and aquatic, marine oceans and the fresh waters. Artificial or the man-made one. Aquarium, and this is a cropland. The first point of view of the terrestrial biome is the tropical forest biomes. The tropical forest biome is comprised of several sub-biomes including evergreen rainforest, seasonal deciduous forest, etc. Tropical forests have the highest biodiversity and primary productivity of any of the terrestrial biomes. The Amazon basin, Congo basin, and the Indonesian islands are the major regions of these biomes. These regions have very dense forests, the thick forest, and so have great economic importance. Human settlements are found scattered here and there. Scattered means it just shows you. So its settlements are found scattered. So they sustain their livelihood through the food gathering, fishing, lumbering, and shifting cultivation. Due to the humid nature of this biome, the people get afflicted to tropical diseases like malaria, yellow fever, etc. So the chief trees found here are rubber, bamboo, ebony, etc. What are the types of birds and animals you found here? Bats, pheasants, jaguars, elephants, monkeys, etc. They are the important birds and as well as the animals which found here in the tropical forest biomes. This is the US National Cancer Institute has identified about 70% of the plants used for the treating cancer which are found only in rainforest. Example, lapshu. Tropical savanna grasslands. The second point of terrestrial biomes. Tropical grasslands are generally found between tropical forest and the deserts. Tropical savanna biomes are found between 10 degree to 20 degree north and south latitudes. So these grasslands are generally flat and are found in the Sahel, the south of Sahara in East Africa and in Australia. This biome is generally hot and dry and experiences moderate to lower rainfall. So the grass which grow here are tall and sharp, Hence, the chief occupation of the people found here is herding. So, the primitive people living here are the nomadic one. So, whatever they are finding, that only it's a source to them in the grasslands, in the forest area. The common animals found here are, what are the animals they are finding here? Lion, leopard, tiger, deer, zebra, giraffe, etc. The flora such as Rhodes grass, red oats grass, lemon grass, etc. are found in this biome. Do you know matter? Of late, parts of the savanna grasslands are being converted into farmlands, which pose a great threat to the wide range of fauna. For example, the population of the big cats like cheetah, lion, etc. are dwindling drastically over here. Now, the desert biomes. It's a third terrestrial biomes. Deserts are usually found on the western margins of the continents between 20 and 30 north and south latitudes. The annual rainfall is less than 25 centimeter in these regions. Due to the lack of rainfall and arid conditions, these regions do not possess any vegetation but have special vegetation type called xerophytes. As the soil is sandy and saline, deserts remain agriculturally unproductive. So, drought-resistant thorny scrubs and bushes palms are found here. So, because of the less amount of rainfall. So, look at this. The tribal people who live here practice the food gathering and hunting. They move their temporary settlements frequently in search of pastures. So, transportation becomes very difficult here and it's carried on by camels. Reptiles like snakes, lizards, scorpions, etc. are most commonly found here. So here oasis is a fertile fresh water source found in deserts and semi-arid regions. Oases are fed by the springs. The crops like date palms, figs, citrus fruits, maize, etc. are cultivated near those oasis area. Now the point number 4, temperate grassland biomes. These are usually found in the interior of the continents and are characterized by the large seasonal temperature variations with warm summer and cold winter. The type of grassland in these regions strongly depends upon precipitation. Higher precipitation leads to tall and soft grass and lower precipitation leads to the short and soft grass. So these regions favor wheat cultivation. Extensive mechanized agriculture is practiced due to the lack of farm labor. Pastoral industry becomes the main occupation, thereby facilitating slaughtering of animals, packing of raw and processed meat, dairy products, etc. The common birds and animals are grasshopper, wolf, bison, prairie dog, etc. Temperate grasslands are called definitely differently in different parts of the world. Prairies, that's in North America, steppes in Eurasia, pampas, Argentina and Uruguay, veld in South Africa, downs in Australia, Canterbury, New Zealand, Manchurian in China. So the grasslands names in different parts of the world. Now the tundra biomes. Tundra biomes, these vast lowlands, these means tundra lowlands are found where the ground remains frozen. So Greenland, Arctic and Antarctic regions and the northern parts of Asia, Canada and Europe fall in this biome. These regions are also called as a barren land. Because of the frozen, we are unable to get the crops over here in this land. So this biome experiences long, severe winter and short, cool summer. Due to the prevailing of low temperature and short growing seasons, the net primary productivity is very low in tundra. People are nomadic. They were unaware of those things. So hunting and fishing are their major occupations. This is the knowledge they have. The population here is extremely sparse and the harsh environment makes them change their settlement frequently because of the cold winter season. So people are changing their settlement, their houses frequently. They live in igloos. You know very well igloo house which are filled with the snow on the top of the roof. So they live in igloos in winter and in tents during the summer season. Arctic moss, Arctic willow, lichens, etc. grow here. Fauna like the polar bear, Wolverine, Re-Indies, Snowy Owl are found here. This is a place you are finding the snow region. Now we are going to discuss about the aquatic biomes. Aquatic biomes. It is a group of living organisms that live and interact with one another and its aquatic environment for nutrients and shelter. What is aquatic biome? It is a group of living organisms that live and interact with one another and its aquatic environment for nutrients and shelter. Like terrestrial biomes, aquatic biomes are also influenced by the series of abiotic factors. It is broadly classified as freshwater biomes and marine biomes. The freshwater biomes, it comprises lakes, ponds, rivers, streams, wetlands, etc. It is influenced by various abiotic components such as the volume of water, water flow, composition of oxygen, temperature, etc. Humans, they rely on the freshwater biomes for drinking water, crop irrigation, sanitation and industry. Water lily, lotus, duckweeds, etc. are the common plants which found here. Trouts, salmon, turtles, crocodiles, etc. are the animals found here. Freshwater fish, that's a family of salmon fish. Then turtles, crocodiles, etc. are the animals they found here. Look at this. Now the marine biomes, they are the largest aquatic biomes on the earth. Marine biomes are the largest aquatic biomes on the earth. They are continuous bodies of salt water and provide a wide range of habitats for marine plants and animals. Coral reefs, that is Pavala Paraigal solringa. Coral reefs, a ridge of rock in the sea formed by the growth and deposit of corals. These are a second kind of marine biomes within the ocean. Estuaries, that is the coastal areas where salt water and fresh water mix, which form a third unique marine biome. As water provides maximum mobility to the marine organism, nutrients are circulated more quickly and efficiently here than the terrestrial biomes. Apart from animals, plants such as scalp, algae, phytoplankton, etc. also grow in water. Aquatic biomes are not only important for plants and animals but also for humans. Humans use aquatic biomes for water, food and leisure activities. Some of the threats and issues to aquatic biomes are overfishing, pollution and rise in a sea level. So these are the threats and issues to the aquatic biomes. They are the overfishing, pollution and rise in the sea level. Conservation, how to preserve. The biosphere extends from the deep ocean trenches to the lush rainforest. People play an important role in maintaining the flow of energy in the biosphere. At the same time, the primary cause of today's loss of biodiversity is habitat alteration caused by the human activities. The ever-increasing population results in overexploitation of the biological resource. So this has an adverse impact on flora and fauna and earth. There are places on earth that are both biologically rich and deeply threatened. Hence it is man's duty to conserve and care for the earth and make it a better place to live in. What is a biosphere reserve? A biosphere reserve is a special ecosystem or specialized environment with flora and fauna that require protection and nurturing. There are 18 biosphere reserves in India. So here the recap of the entire lesson. The biosphere is a thin layer on, above and beneath the earth where life exists. The place on earth where living organisms live and interact with one another and with their physical environment is called an ecosystem. What are the three major components of ecosystems are biotic components, abiotic components and energy flow. Biotic components are classified into producers, consumers and decomposers. Few more points are there for the recap of the entire lesson. So the functioning of the ecosystem depends on the energy flow through the various levels called trophic levels. The wide variety of living organisms that are found on the planet is called biodiversity. So all these small definitions you are just getting over here to collect. So the extinction of such biological diversity due to human influence or nature is called as a loss of biodiversity. A geographically extensive ecosystem where living organisms are collectively found is termed as a biome. Biomes are broadly classified as a terrestrial and aquatic biomes. Biosphere has to be conserved as it is considered to be an asset to the planet Earth. So please go through the lesson once again, my dears. So very important to know everything. It is easy to observe. Okay, please go through. Thank you.